Hello, my dudes. Welcome back to another video of relaxing doodles with me, the Doodler. And we're going to be getting into Inktober, day 23. Today's theme is R.I.P. Or maybe just rip, like ripping a piece of paper. But we're going to stick with R.I.P. because it's October. It's spooky season. So let's get into some doodles. Okay, so when I think of R.I.P., the very first thing that I think of is obviously, well, not obviously, because you can't read my mind, but it's definitely a headstone. So we're just gonna kind of start it off, pretty basic. Just a headstone. Maybe there's some grass growing right here. You can see that okay? Yeah. There's some grass here. There's dirt here. There's like a grove, a grassy area. Maybe the groundskeeper hasn't hit this side of the cemetery in some time. Okay, so let me change the lighting here. So here we go. So this is a headstone, and right here it's gonna say R.I.P. And for those that don't know what that stands for, though I would assume most people do, stands for rest in peace. There we go. Just gonna color that in, give that some little, a little depth. Maybe we'll just color that whole thing in. There we go. And then we'll just kind of add some lines here just to kind of give it some old age. It's seen some cold days and some rainy days, And then maybe we'll just kind of come over here and add a little 3D element to it. Just like that. Give it some girth. There. Something like that. Now, why don't we just kind of give it some mossy growing on it? The groundskeeper really hasn't been here in a while, and maybe this particular person, maybe all of their friends and relatives are passed away too. So no one's really keeping an eye on this anymore. Look at that. Look at that. We can just do some like withered flowers, some old petals on the ground. It's just been a while since anyone's been here. There we go. Just like that. These are just all shriveled up little sticks and old flowers that dried up and all their petals are gone. We'll just do a little semblance of some wind, maybe. Maybe it's a fall day. Little leaves in the sky, just like that. There. Look at that. And we can just do like a little scribble here, maybe illegible little scribble. Here lies so and so with a date. Something like that. We'll make this little piece of moss right here a little more distinct, just like that. What do you think? There. So there's our first little doodle. just a rest in peace headstone. Pretty standard. Nothing too fancy. But now let's get into some other doodles. Okay, and then perhaps right here next to it, we're gonna do something a little interesting. There we go. That's kind of what I'm imagining. Look at this. And you might already be able to tell what that is. Well, not with that focus. Let me turn this down just a little. There we go. Okay, now let's color this in, and then maybe it'll come to life for you. There. There, do you see what that is? Maybe not. There we go. There's some dirt here. So this is a skeleton. Maybe for some reason it's kind of on its side. I don't know if you can tell. There we go. Maybe that little indentation in the skull helped a little. But this is buried sideways. Let's add a little lines, little dots everywhere, just to kind of bring it to life. There. For some reason, though, this particular person is not resting, but instead they're trying to escape back into the world. Lots of little bones in the hand. He's breaking the surface of the soil, and he's trying to return back to the world of the living. Because it's October, we're gonna make it a little spooky. How's that sound, guys? You know, lots of little joints in the fingers. There we go. Just like that. I think for some reason, there we go. Maybe I'll make it more triangulated on that nostril. So that's his eye here. Here's the nostrils, or the, opening for the nares. And mouth here. Jaw here. So he's kind of sideways. There. And yeah, we'll just put some dirt on him. Maybe dirt's falling off of him because he's breaking out of the ground. Look at that. There. Look at that. That's really coming to life. Maybe there's grass here. Maybe there's some grass on top of him because he's coming out of the grass and the dirt and everything around him. We'll make this really look really messed up and really tear up the earth and the soil. Make this a little darker here. There we go. Just like that. And then behind him, there, just like that. Behind him, he's got his headstone here. It's kind of going up into the title of the page, but that's okay. That's no problem. Just like that. Same thing here. We're gonna add some moss. But first, I guess we'll write the letters. We'll try and make it look a little spookier. Don't worry about it too much. There we go. So just little bits of, lines everywhere. Gives it a look of like weathered down. Try and imagine being a headstone. It's in all sorts of weather. The snow, the rain, all sorts of weather. It's gonna look a little beat up, There we go. With this guy. He's no longer resting. Just add a little shading here. Just like that. Moss right here. It can be everywhere. Maybe we'll do a long one right here. Kind of comes to right down here. There. Almost looks like a crack in the whatever they make headstones out of, so whatever stone they use. We'll just add, little bits of grass around here. Maybe some bigger rocks that's being unearthed as well as he comes out. There we go, look at that. That's really coming to life. We'll put a big rock right here. There. That's just fine. It's scary, but at the same time, if you were trapped underground, wouldn't you want to get out too? I know I would want to. I would want to leave if I was trapped in a box underground, that's for sure. Without even trying to come across as evil or, some bad spirit. If I've somehow returned and I was in underground, yeah, I would definitely leave the ground too. There. Okay, I think that's doodle number 2. Let's see, over here. Sometimes people don't do the headstones. Sometimes they do the cross. Gonna go like that. Then we'll put we'll add some detail in just a second, but just put some grass at the bottom of that. How's that sound? Look at that. Just like this. Okay, we'll just add just a little dimension to this, so it doesn't look so flat. There we go. Maybe a little bit over here. You won't see it as much. And then maybe on top. There. And then sometimes right in the middle of it. We have another R.I.P. This one's got some moss on it too. kind of dangles down, maybe. Maybe on the underside. That would make more sense, don't you think? You know, lots of weather and rain and stuff causing stuff to kind of accumulate and kind of fall down here. There we go, just like that. It is a little spooky, you know, drawing stuff like this, but at the same time it's kind of peaceful. Unfortunately, that's the one sure thing about life, is it does end for everybody. And it's totally natural to be, you know, uneasy with it. But yeah, it's coming. Sorry, that's a little morbid. It's coming though, no matter what. Okay, we'll just put some rocks here. Maybe they put some rocks out front of this little resting area. Maybe it's, you know, what kind of one of those, you know, just like honor sites. Maybe you see on the side of the road, someone lost their life there. Tragic fatal accidents and stuff like that. There we go. We'll kind of add some aging to these rocks. Little lines that just kind of instantly bring it to life. What do you think? There we go. Add a little shading here. There. A little spooky. You know what? I'm going to make this a little taller with even more rocks. Maybe it's kind of like a really tall pyre of rocks. Is that the right word? Like someone made kind of like maybe a burial. They couldn't give it like a proper burial, so they just kind of did the best they could. There we go. Just like that. Lots of rocks. Someone really cared for this person and wanted to honor them as much as they could. I think that's really sweet. Some grass around the bottom of it, just so it kind of looks like it's on the ground. A little shading, a little grass. Maybe it's getting a little taller grass because it's kind of been forgotten about. Some weeds, you know, growing a little tall. There we go. And there's our rest in peace, doodle number 3. I'm trying to think of some other ways of rest in peace. Okay, how about not everyone gets buried, you know? Oh, focus is going crazy. Sorry about that. Sometimes people are cremated, you know? There we go. It's gonna kinda, maybe I'll put a little one of these on there just to kind of make it look like a lid. So, you know, the contents aren't just open to the elements and to the world. And go up and around like this, and then back in like that. There we go. You can see it. Just try and imagine. This is sitting above someone's fireplace, or maybe it's the designated spot in the house so that they can honor their loved ones and that passed away, and they just want to try and hold on to them, which is completely fine. There we go. Maybe some lines here running across, just some intricate patterns, and there we go, just like this. Maybe it's kind of on a little stand, like a little. There, I think I like that better. Really holds its balance, And then we'll just kind of add, some lines here and there just to kind of give it some life, So it's not so blank. A little depth there. And maybe on here we'll just kind of right in front of everything. Just in peace. Maybe out here. Little handles. We can add some more detail to that now. There we go. Just like that. Shadow there. There. Just like that. How's that look? Because not everyone's buried, but still want to be remembered by their families and loved ones. So they get cremated sometimes. Unfortunately, sometimes people do it for cause because funeral people make a lot of money off of the dead. It's not right. Took a little sip of water. Sorry if you heard that. There's that. Our little vase with some, someone's ashes in them. There we go. Okay. What other resting places are there? Trying to think. Maybe we'll just kind of go out with a little bang here. You can see that? Okay. So yeah, we don't need too much detail, because I'm kind of imagining someone Something like that. There we go. So, I'm imagining someone just kind of wrapped, kind of like a mummy, you know, with lots of wrappings and stuff. I don't know if you can see that yet, but I think you will in just a little bit. We're just going to go all the way down. Or just do little indications of like knees and stuff, but little protruding parts of the body, but really it's not going to be too detailed. I guess it's just, there we go. We're just going to try and add like the semblance of these little wrappings everywhere, you know, like this person's wrapped up in some tightly woven wrappings, kind of like gauze, but you know, it's probably cloth everywhere. Maybe we'll go the other way a little. Make some areas darker, some areas not. There we go. And just some shallow indentation of maybe where eyes would be if they were wrapped up. Just like that. Doesn't have to be perfectly detailed or anything. Just kind of like a person wrapped up. You can see it, I think. I think you're starting to see it now. But maybe they're on some, like I said the word earlier, like a funeral pyre. You know, with wood. Maybe this person's going to be burned. Some cultures do that. Some cultures just, you know, they'll wrap their dead in gauze or cloth and then decide to burn them to honor them. It's not to be weird or sacrificial or anything like that. Some cultures just burn their dead, kind of like we do with cremation. But yeah, they do it kind of openly. We'll just kind of make this a little darker here, just like that. Maybe over here too. Yeah, it doesn't have to be creepy. And I'm sorry if I'm scaring anybody, but that's not the point. Because, you know, rest in peace. That's a sentiment. That's something we tell people that we love. We want them to rest in peace with no troubles. You know? It doesn't have to be creepy. It can be just it's just we want, even in death, we want the best for our loved ones. You know what I mean? We're gonna add just like even more wood underneath here. Great big resting place for them. Let's just keep on adding. It's gonna take a great flame to take care of this. It's not gonna be like a campfire to take care of a human body. It's gonna have to get hot, hot, hot. So it's gonna need all the fuel it can get, you know? Sometimes they get them ready like this. In a boat. You know, if I'm thinking right about like Vikings and stuff, they'll burn or like shoot a burning arrow. Is that the correct culture I'm thinking of? Something like that. Let's just, there we go. Okay, so I skipped ahead just a little, just because maybe you don't want to see me draw just a bunch of pieces of wood, but I saved a little bit so you can watch, towards the end. Some of you might enjoy the noise, but it is a little repetitive, so I skipped ahead. I hope you don't mind. There we go, just like this. We're all the way down to the feet now. Just like that. Maybe pieces of wood come out this way now. Not too much detail with the wood. It's just wood. Make it really tall because there. Just like that. So this is the resting place for this pyre. There. And we'll just do a ripping doodle as well. Piece of paper getting ripped. Something like that. Right down the middle. There. Doesn't exactly look like a rip, but that's okay. And I think that's it. This is our page. Just decided to add some little resting places, different resting places. Rest in peace. Different ways that loved ones show honor to their dead. There it is. Kind of a spooky page, isn't it? It was a lot of fun though. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button. Please share it. Leave a comment. Let me know which one you like the most. And subscribe if you want to see more of this type of content. Thank you so much for sticking around, my dudes. I'll catch you in the next video.